Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I am going to get started. Day 23. Good morning. Day 23. There's only a few more days left of the Rise and Build Challenge. And I don't know about you, but it has gone so quick. It has just gone so quick. When I first began, thank you. When I first began, I did not know what this challenge really, how it was going to progress over the 30 days, but God. And I switched on my TV yesterday, and then I saw Apostle Issy. She goes around doing a builder summit, and she was doing it in the USA. And it's a call to build. And I said, oh my goodness, Lord. I said, she had Apostle Stephanie, Apostle Tomi Arayemi, and Pastor Taylor Welsh. And let me tell you, you're still digesting day one. When I listened and I said, Lord, I just said, Lord. So trust me, God is calling a set people to build. He's calling a set people. And I realize that God will send out a particular mandate in a particular season. And those that have ears to hear to pick up what he is saying and run with it, then you will see different things popping up. And so there we are. I don't know how, but we are in a season of building. We are in a season of building. That is what God is requiring of us. So when I see a major apostle doing stuff, I'm just like, okay, Lord, we round here, we in Mindset Mornings, we are picking up what you are saying. So I say that to say, don't miss this season. This is not Patrice Bailey. This is not about Patrice Bailey trying to do something. It is not. It is something that I've picked up in the spirit realm, and I am running with it. So when I literally was doing a Friday Mindset Mornings, and the Holy Spirit said, you're going to do a Rise and Build Challenge, and it was going to be starting on Monday. Good morning. And that's how the Rise and Build Challenge. So for you to say, Sister Lillian, that you're still digesting day one, it can only be God, because it certainly is not me. It certainly is not me. It certainly is not me. So God has really been showing us what it means to build. So if you have been part of the challenge, if you have been taking the notes and downloading the emails, that's great, because I would suggest going back to them, looking over them, because those are the foundations before you even begin building. Make sure you have these things in place. And so now this week as I started yesterday, we're moving into infrastructure. See, God will give a vision, God will give a prophecy, but there is an infrastructure that needs to be built around it, and infrastructure around yourself, and infrastructure around what you're building. So I am just going to give you, I started yesterday, and I've just done some more on it. I'm just going to give you some infrastructures that you can start thinking about. All of them are not going to apply to you, but take the ones that will apply. They may not apply today, but they may apply tomorrow. So take them and use whatever you need for where you are right now. As I don't know where everybody is, but if you have a vision, a calling, a burden, a blueprint, whatever it is, you're building something. If you're not building something physically, you definitely should be building yourself. If you don't have a vision yet, then definitely be building yourself. If you don't know what your calling is yet, or your assignment is yet. Be building yourself and be part of somebody else's vision who is building something, so you can begin to learn. And as you serve, it will begin, God will begin to see you faithful in somebody else's vision, and will begin to reveal to you what he has for you to do. So infrastructure. Before I go into infrastructure, I just want to share some common problems in business and building a ministry, building a business, whatever it is. There are some common constraints, and you may be feeling these now yourself if you're building something, or I'm telling you, you probably encounter them when you go to build something. So being in business, I've done a lot of research into businesses. I'm now doing research into ministries, building ministries, and organizations. And I'm going to just give you 3 things to be mindful of when you're growing anything. When you're growing a business, a ministry, an organization, these are the most common constraints, and that's why I want you to be aware of them. So when you begin to build, you can build with these things factored in. The first common constraint that you need to be aware of, whatever you're building, even if you are being part of somebody else's vision, you're going to see a constraint called leadership capacity. Growing organizations show that leaders, I'm telling you, become the bottlenecks of growth. If you are the CEO of your business, or if you are the leader of a ministry, you can become the bottleneck from that thing. Even if you're in ministry, in another ministry, if you are the leader, and leadership capacity is one of the biggest constraints from anything growing. Bottleneck will be the skills of the leader, the capacity of the leader, the decision-making capacity of the leader, and the ability to lead. These things don't come automatically, and the vision is always going to be bigger than the capacity of the leader. So that's why the leader must continuously enlarge their capacity, continuously get knowledge. So leadership is one of the biggest bottlenecks, and it's something that we have to be aware of if you are going to be leading. Number 2 is systems and execution. That is the second biggest constraint to growth of anything. The reason why it's a constraint is because we are relying more on people than on processes. I see this all the time. Somebody can be part of a team, and only that person knows what to do. So if that person is on holiday, if that person is sick, everything in that department then shuts down, because there are no systems and there are no processes in place. Everything is dependent on one person. And the same if you are the only person in your business, or you are the only person in your ministry. Everything will shut down if you are not available. So anything that remains in people's hands will become a problem. That's why it is important, whenever you're building anything, to begin to put systems and processes in place, so you can come out of the business, so you can come out of the ministry, so you can come out. The third is people and resources. Doesn't matter what it is. You can have all of the right people, the right skills, the right leadership, but if you don't have the resources and the right support, you cannot move to the next level. You will be stuck at that level. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because I want you to be mindful of these things when I talk about infrastructure. Let me tell you, your vision is not the problem. The prophecy is not the problem. It is going to be these constraints. It is going to be these lack of infrastructures. It's going to be these things. So I'm going to give you some infrastructures that you can note down that will, I won't say prevent these constraints, but they will really help in alleviating these constraints. They will really help in alleviating these constraints. So there's 7 of them. I'm going to go through them very, very quickly because I want to make sure I give you all 7, because tomorrow we're moving on to something else, and tomorrow we have a guest tomorrow. So leadership infrastructure. Leadership infrastructure. Leadership infrastructure. Whatever you're building, one of the infrastructures needs to be leadership. Why? Because the first thing you need to build is yourself. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Most people want to build a business. They want to start a ministry. They want to build their career. They want to build influence. But none of these things are going to be able to grow unless the person building them grows, unless you begin to grow. You see, one of the biggest mistakes we can make is focusing all of our energy on building something, while neglecting us, the ones that are building the thing. God will work on you. I was listening to, I don't know if it was Apostle Stephanie or Apostle Issy, and they were talking about delay. Or it could have been Apostle Tommy, and they were talking about delay. And they say, what causes delay is that God is in eternity. God has all the time in the world. It's us that want things quickly. But God will not move you to the next stage until he works on you. And so he will keep bringing things around until you get an understanding of that thing. And then he will move you to the next thing. So the quicker you learn the lesson in that season, the quicker you move. So when things are not working out, if you stay complaining, that thing will keep coming back around until you learn the lesson in that thing. I, for one, I don't know about you, but I, for one, I have come to that conclusion and realized that, and I'm learning to shorten the distance between the lessons, because I want to move out of certain places. I'm like, Lord, what am I missing? Open my eyes. One of my prayers, Lord, open my eyes. Let me see beyond what I'm seeing. Let me hear beyond what I'm hearing. Open my eyes. Open my eyes to see. So leadership infrastructure. You can have a brilliant idea, but you may be one person that struggles with focus. You can have great opportunities can come around. God can bring you great opportunities, but then you struggle with procrastination. You can have all the talent in the world, but you still struggle with discipline. These are the things that cause bottlenecks. These are the things that cause bottlenecks. You can have vision, but you don't know. You haven't developed your habits yet. You haven't renewed your mind. You haven't increased the capacity to sustain what God is showing you. If you are constantly overwhelmed, constantly firefighting, constantly reacting, constantly exhausted, constantly saying, I don't have enough time, it's not the assignment, it's your leadership capacity. The infrastructure for your leadership requires strengthening. So leadership, when I talk about leadership, it starts with leading yourself. Even if you're not going to ever be leading a team, you're always going to be leading yourself. If a man cannot lead himself, how can he lead anything else? So leadership starts with you. Can you manage your time? Can you keep your commitments? Can you follow through on what you said you would do? One of the things that I am working on personally is, if I say I'm going to do something, to do it. Because there is multiple things happening at any given time. And so I may say I'm going to do something and then it doesn't happen. So I personally am working on following through on what I said I would do. Can you stay focused when distractions arise? Can you do what needs to be done when you don't feel like doing it? These are leadership issues, because before you can lead a team, you must learn to lead yourself. Before you can manage others, you must learn to manage yourself. So before you can build something significant that has sustainability, that is going to last, because anybody can start anything. Anybody can start anything. My 7-year-old can start something. But can it be sustained? So you must become the person responsible for building it. So how do you build leadership infrastructure? So I'm going to be giving you some how-tos as well, so you can begin to think about, so you can begin to put things in place. Number 1, you must build your personal discipline. Your success is going to be hidden in your daily habits. Look at your routines. Look at your consistency. Look at the things that you should be doing that you keep postponing. Choose one area that you are going to become disciplined in this week. Number 2, build your ability to follow through. Many dreams remain dreams because people start but do not finish. Good morning. Make fewer commitments and keep more of the commitments. Make fewer commitments and keep more of them. Build a reputation for yourself for doing what you said you would do. Number 3, develop your knowledge. Every new level requires new knowledge, requires new understanding. Ask yourself, what do I need to learn to get to where I want to go? Then create a plan to learn it. Number 4, strengthen your decision making. Indecision will keep you stuck. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Gather the information you need, make a decision, and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. There was a scripture that someone gave me yesterday about Gideon. And she said how Gideon had, every time he was rejected, he had to keep moving forward. He just kept moving forward and kept moving forward. And there were going to be seasons where you may be rejected, where people may say no, but you're going to have to make a decision and keep moving forward. If you've heard God, then keep moving forward. Even if the circumstances are counterintuitive to where you believe God is taking you. Just keep moving forward and trust in him, because progress is what creates clarity. Don't, as the lepers say, we should not die here. Let us keep moving. And they kept moving, and God delivered them. And it was a great victory because they kept moving forward. Number 5, increase your capacity. Capacity is your ability to carry more responsibility without becoming overwhelmed. As your influence will grow, your responsibilities are going to grow. So, oh gosh, I really want to get through this, but I want to give you an example. My daughter, before, she used to do baking, and when she would bake, she would make so much mess, and she wouldn't like to clear her mess, but she wanted to bake. Now she's now doing hair. She makes so much mess, and I say to her, so sometimes when I'm late, it's because we use the same room for me to do my hair. Mornings is the same room that she does her hair, and every time I come into this room, I'm just spitting feathers because everything is out of place, and I have to put everything back in place before I begin. And she's having to increase her capacity, and I've had to say to her, you're doing more, and so you have more responsibility. You cannot be doing what you're doing, doing school as well. So there's going to be more mess, and so because you're doing a lot more hair. So please, my friend, clean up your mess. You see, when your capacity grows, responsibility grows as well. And so I was thinking about it this morning. Actually, it hasn't come together that as she's doing more, more responsibility is going to come. And I see that not just with her at 16, I see that with business people. It's like, they have to start hiring people. And they're like, I don't like people. I don't want to hire, because it comes with more responsibility, and they don't want the responsibility. But as your influence grows, as things are growing, as your capacity is growing, your responsibilities are going to grow. As more opportunities are coming, your responsibilities are going to grow. When people start asking you to lead and to run things and to do things, it's more responsibility. Much is given, much is required. Doing more is required of you. So we can't be asking God to give us more. Then when it comes, we're like, this is too much. This is too much responsibility. I want to go back to when nobody was calling me. Nobody was emailing me. I didn't have to tidy up. I didn't have to do anything. I could just lie in my bed and watch TikTok. But the question is not simply whether you want more. The question is, are you becoming the person that can steward more? For my daughter, she now has to become the person that can steward more, because if you're going to be doing all of this stuff, you're going to be doing much. You're doing so much. There is more responsibility that comes with doing so much. So I want you to think about, am I leading myself well? Or am I lacking discipline? Or am I lacking consistency? For example, with my daughter, when she did somebody's hair yesterday, and then I saw her doing work on the computer, and I just looked, and then I closed the door, because I said, if you're going to be doing this, your work cannot suffer. Your work cannot suffer. So she's now having to learn how to manage her time, how to manage clients, how to manage her work, because she wanted that. She wanted that. But if you're going to do that, it's responsibility. It is responsibility. And the same thing I say to her is the same thing I say to us. You want more, then you got to you got to make yourself ready to receive more. You've got to. So if you don't have discipline, if she didn't have discipline, she would let her clients down. She would let herself down. Her work will suffer. She now has to increase her capacity. She has to increase her discipline. She has to increase her consistency. She is fully booked because it's prom time. So she's doing prom hair, and she is fully booked. But that's going to come at her having to increase her capacity. So where she could, lay in bed and watch TikTok all night, she can't do that. Where she could speak to her friends for all night, she can't do that. And I'm saying all that because we as adults have to understand this. You say you want more. Okay, you're going to have to sacrifice some phone calls. You're going to have to sacrifice some TV. You're going to have to sacrifice some pleasures and delay gratification. Delay that dopamine hit that you want. Delay it. I was listening to Apostle Issy, and she said one of the things God is teaching her is about food. And it was the second time I've heard this. She said, if you can't live a fasting life, you're not going to be able to hear God. If the first thing that you want when you wake up, if the first thing that you want is food, then she said you won't be able to hear God. You won't. So these things, the higher you go, it depends on what you want out of your life. If you want to have a deeper relationship with God, then the fasting is going to be part of your spiritual planning. It's going to have to be part of what you do. These things, and it will help you with discipline. It will help you with consistency. But these are the things that when I'm talking about leadership infrastructure, these are the things I want you to think about. What kind of person do I need to be able to build the thing that God is revealing to me? The vision that God has given you is an invitation. That prophecy is an invitation. It's his will for your life, but it doesn't mean that it's going to come to pass. You now have to co-partner with God. You now have to allow him. If you ask him, Lord, prepare me to be the person that can carry out, because the person that can carry out the vision is not the same person that received the vision. It's not the same. It's not the same. So the first thing you build is not the business. The first thing you build is not the ministry, is not the career. The first thing you build is yourself, because every structure you build will eventually be limited by you. By you. So, number 2. So first you build yourself, and then you build your understanding. Don't try to advance your business, your ministry, your career with yesterday's knowledge, with yesterday's news. Don't try and build it with yesterday. You've got to. The second one is your knowledge infrastructure. Knowledge infrastructure. You need to build your knowledge infrastructure, because you can't build confidently in an area that you do not understand. You cannot build a successful business without understanding business, without understanding industry, without understanding culture, without understanding what's happening. You can't build wealth. Those of you that want to have financial freedom, financial peace, build wealth, all of these things. Do you understand how wealth works? Do you understand what creates wealth? Do you understand these things? Because it's easy to say, yeah, I want to be wealthy, but do you understand what it requires to build wealth? Do you understand about assets? Do you have financial literacy? You want to advance your career. That's wonderful. How do careers advance? Do you understand the company that you want to advance your career in, or the company that you want to go into? Do you understand these things? You want to build influence. Do you understand how influence is created? Do you understand the psychology of people? Do you understand what makes how people think about things? So one of the biggest mistakes I see in the body of Christ is just running with what they saw God say, without understanding, without knowledge. Passion is not enough. Passion is powerful. Passion is not enough. Vision is powerful, but that's just the beginning. Prayer is powerful, but that's just the starter. There are many things that knowledge is required for. For example, if you have been facing the same problem in your business, in your ministry for years, it's not more motivation you need. It's something. There is a knowledge gap somewhere. There's something that you do not know. When you see people ahead of you, it is because there is a body of knowledge that they know, that they have, that you just don't have. And the wise thing to do is to go and get that knowledge. Not to stay where you are. Don't stay where you are. Go and fill that gap. If you feel stuck in your life, it's a knowledge gap. If you feel like you've reached the ceiling, there is a knowledge gap. The truth is that every new level requires new knowledge. New knowledge. So it's not just simply, I want to build. What is God calling me to build? What do I need to know to build well? So when I'm speaking about arise and build and all of these things, the reason why I'm speaking it is because I want you to build well, because it's easy to start. But whatever you start, have you built in sustainability? Have you built in sustainability? How is it going to run? How are you going to fund it? What's the follow through? What's going to happen next? It's easy to have the vision, but then have you built the infrastructure? And so if I just bring some neuroscience into it, our brain changes through learning. That's how our brain increases in capacity. So every time you learn something new, you are building new neural pathways. And there are some neural pathways that you need to let go of. That's why the Bible says, do not remember the former things. There's some things you need to let go of, and there's some new things that you need to actually build. You build new neural pathways. So your brain changes. Your brain changes with knowledge. It changes. So that's why we grow when we begin to learn. That's why reading matters, studying matters, exposure, the right environments matter, being in the right rooms matter, because it enlarges your brain. It enlarges your thinking. We cannot consistently think beyond what we know. We cannot consistently build beyond what we understand. So how do you build knowledge? How do you build your knowledge infrastructure? Hey, time is... You identify the knowledge gap, first and foremost. So saying I don't know is a very feeble and weak excuse. It's very feeble. It's very feeble. What you have to do is, what don't I know and what do I need? Do you need to learn sales? Do you need to learn marketing? Do you need to learn leadership? Do you need to learn public speaking? Do you need to learn financial management, strategy, technology? Identify the gap. Identify the gap. You cannot solve a problem if you do not define it. Everything begins with awareness. Number 2, become a student again. Don't say you already know. Be curious. Be willing to learn. It will really help you. But just be what do they call it? A lifelong student. Become a lifelong student. Learn. Number 3, learn from people who have results. Don't learn from people who just have opinions. Opinions are great, but learn from people who have evidence. Learn from people who have built what you want to build. Study them. Learn from them. If somebody has achieved what you want to achieve, go and learn from them. Success leaves clues. Number 4, turn information into action. Information does not create transformation. There is information. We are living in an abundant time of information. Information is not your issue. Your issue is going to be, how do you synthesize information to give you the knowledge for what you need? How does that, because there's so much. How do you know what to take, what to leave there? And there's so much AI created information. How do you know what is real and what is fake? There is so much. In the times to come, you are going to have to learn how to discern. You're going to have to learn how to discern. You're going to have to make sure that you are speaking to a human being. Make sure that you're watching a human being. You're going to have to learn to discern. Information does not create transformation. Application is what creates transformation. So after every book, after every podcast, every course, whatever you're doing, you must begin to ask yourself, what am I going to do with this? That's why I like to give daily challenges. Why? Because I want you to apply what you're learning. Do something with it. Because that's how it becomes transformation. If you just write it in your notebook, it will not transform you. It will just be great note-taking and great notebooks that have been filled, but it will not transform you. Just because you write it down does not mean it's going to transform you. Just because you're listening to something does not mean it's going to transform you. You're going to have to use it. You're going to have to apply it. So we as a body, I believe, have to stop praying for things that we are not willing to study for. We can't keep asking for doors that we are not prepared to walk through. We can't keep asking for opportunities that we are not even willing to be, good morning, Mama Antoinette, be equipped to steward. What are we asking for? What are we doing? Every assignment is going to require study, is going to require stewardship. Every level is going to require a fresh body of knowledge. The knowledge that you had in 1999 cannot take you into 2027. Just because you went to school in 1999 or you did a course in 1999, it is not no. Do you know they say knowledge that you got in 2025 has now become obsolete? That's the rate of how fast information is moving. So that's why you have to constantly be in rooms, constantly be in places where you're gathering new knowledge. Number 3, very important. Well, they're all important, to be perfectly honest. Relational capital. Relational capital. The third infrastructure you need to build is relational capital. One of the greatest mistakes we can believe is believing that we can build something significant by ourselves. We cannot. And it's not kingdom. It's not kingdom. It's not kingdom. God is not requiring you to do things by yourself. No, it's not kingdom. Whether you're building a business, a ministry, a career, doesn't matter. Your success is going to be connected to people. And it's not because you're incapable, and it's not because you are weak, and it's going to deal with ego, it's going to deal with pride. It's because that's how God has designed life. You know, one of the greatest expressions of wisdom is recognizing that you don't know everything. You can't carry everything. You don't have everything for your assignment. There are things that other people have that God wants you to connect with. There are people who know what you do not know. There are people who have been where you are trying to go. There are people that, when Moses is such a great example. God gave Moses the pattern. He said, build after my pattern. And then he said, go and call Bezalel. He has my spirit in him. He has my spirit. See, Moses wasn't the one that was going to physically build. Moses was the facilitator. Moses was the project manager. Moses was the one that was given the vision. But God told him, Moses was not even the one that was going to resource it. God told him, go to the children of Israel. They are the ones that are going to fund this thing being built. God never gave them Moses money from heaven. The children of Israel were the ones that had to fund the build. And then there was the artisans that built the tabernacle. So do you see? This is how it works in the kingdom. And this was very early on. This was in Exodus. Very early on, God is giving us a pattern. So there are people carrying the wisdom. God said he has my wisdom. He has my spirit in him. There are people. Moses didn't have that, but Moses had something else. Moses was called to lead, but he didn't have the artisan gift. So there are people carrying access that you don't have. There are people carrying opportunities that you cannot create by yourself. So the mistake is assuming that because God has given you the vision, only you are supposed to fulfill it, and it is not true. So God has designed life in such a way that no one person carries everything. So if only one person carried all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the opportunities, all the resources, there will be no need for anybody else. There will be no need to love anybody else. We will just be like, well, God has given it all to me. So it's only me that needs to do it. It don't work like that. Your future is connected to people. Your growth is connected to people. Your next level is connected to someone. That door that is going to be open is connected to someone. Your advancement is connected to someone. So the answer to your prayer, and this is what I have seen just in my life, I don't know about you, my answers to prayer usually come in the form of a person. God doesn't give me money. He doesn't, he gives me people. People. Relational capital. Relational capital. So what is relational capital? It is the trust, credibility, goodwill, honor, and value you have built with people over time. Just like you have financial capital, you have relational capital. It's what causes people to think about you when an opportunity arises. Joseph had relational capital. He said, don't forget me. That the first person forgot him. The second one didn't. It's what causes people. Joseph would still be in the pit if the man didn't remember him. So are you building relational capital? Do people know what you are? Do people know what to come to you for? Are you building relational capital? It's what causes doors to open when your qualifications cannot. Relational capital is an asset, and like every asset, it must be built intentionally. So don't ever say there's nobody there to help you. Have you asked God? Have you built the relationships that support where you are going? So don't say nobody sees you. Who knows what you do? Who knows the value that you bring? Don't say that you're building alone. Building alone is not a strategy. I wouldn't recommend it. Especially when it's a vision. If it's something that you want to do, that's fine. It's you that's going to fulfill it. It's not God, and it's not the people that God has assigned. It is you. And what I found just in my own life, I have done things, but it wasn't of God. It was good. It was good, but it wasn't God. It was good. It was good. There was nothing wrong with it. It was good, but it wasn't God. And I see the difference. When it's good, it means good. It means I'm going to do it. It's going to be all me. But when it's God, he sends people. He sends people. I see the difference. And there's nothing that I will do moving forward that is good and it's not God. I won't do it. I'm not going to waste my time because it's me that's going to fulfill it, not God. And so we have to go back to God and say, God, is this you? You have to sit with God and allow God to download to you. Don't just look at what people are doing and say, oh, that looks good. But is it God? Is it an instruction from God, or is it just something that looks good? Somebody else has got success with it and you think, let me do that too. Is it good or is it God? So, how to build relational capital. Number one, become a person of value. The strongest relationships are built on value. Relationships with clients, relationships with customers, relationships in your family, in your church, whatever it is, they are built on value. Ask yourself, what problem do I solve? What value do I bring? How, instead of always looking for what people can do for you, instead of always looking for what God can do for you, why don't you go to God and say, God, what can I do for you? What's my assignment today? God, what's on your heart today? Go to people and say, how can I help you today? What can I do for you today? Because we can get so caught up in ourselves, in our family, I just want one. I want people to help me. I want God to help me, that we fail fail to do one of the kingdom principles, one of the spiritual principles. That's how you bring value. That's how people will know that what you do when you serve others, when you give to others and you give cheerfully. How do people benefit from knowing you? If you focus on contribution before recognition, you will get much further. The things where you have been stagnant in, maybe you just need to focus more on contribution instead of recognition. Instead of trying to build yourself, build your own empire, focus on building God's and see what happens. Number 2, build relationships before you need them. One of the biggest mistakes we can make is only reaching out when we need something. Build relationships before there's crisis, before the opportunity. Build relationships before the need arises. Number 3, protect the trust. Be reliable, be consistent, be a person of integrity. Goes without saying. Trust takes years to build, but in an instant, it can be broken. Number 4, stay connected. Relationships require investment. They encourage people, celebrate people, support people, check in with people. Do not allow meaningful relationships to die because of neglect, because you're too busy. But are you busy with good ideas or God? Because if you're busy with God, there will be times when you can connect with people. When you can connect with people, because God will not tell you to forsake somebody that he sent to you. In fact, you need to pray and say, God, open my eyes to see the people that you have sent to me. So I would say, stop looking at things from a place of who can help me, but who can I become in relationship with? Who can I become in relationship with? Build relationship capital, but relationship capital is not built by what can I get. It's not built by taking. It's built by serving. It's built by contribution. It's built by honoring, and it's built by adding value. That's why I really don't like networking events, because I just feel like it's crabs in bucket. I'm not saying don't go to networking events. I'm just saying me personally, because it's all about what can I get? Who can I stand next to? Who can I get a picture with? Who can I be recognized with? It's very self-serving. It's very, the heart of God is service, is contribution, is honor, is adding value. That's the heart of God. The heart of the world is what can I get? Who is going to help me get to where I need to get to? And stepping on people to get to where you need to get to. It's not of God. So some opportunities are going to come because of what you know. Some are going to come because of what you do. Some are going to come because of who you know. Who are you in covenant relationships with? There are people that are going to speak about you in rooms that you have not entered yet. That's relational capital. So build relational capital. Very, very important. It's really opened doors for me. Everything that I've said this before, my international speaking engagements and things like that I've been able to do, that God has blessed me with, has become from relational capital, where I've served their vision, been part of their vision, contributed in some way, and they have blessed me by opening doors. Number 4, financial infrastructure. Financial infrastructure. Success is not success, or lack of success does not equate to lack of money. Money matters, resources matter, capital matters, but if only money was the answer, every lottery winner would remain wealthy. No. Have you heard the stories of lottery winners that have lost it all? Why? There's highly paid athletes that haven't been able to just retire. Why? There's celebrities that you see them doing adverts. Why is that? Why? Because money is a resource, but resources require stewardship. If you know certain industries the people that have gone broke, and you'll be like, but you've had music careers, sporting careers. Why did they go broke? Because money is a resource, but a resource requires stewardship. They did not know how to steward money. They did not know how. Just because money comes into your hand doesn't mean you are going to be a good steward. So resources flow towards responsibility. Resources flow towards responsibility. It's not just can you receive more, can you manage? Can you multiply? When it comes into your hand, will you just eat it? Will you just spend it? Or will you be able to manage it so it multiplies? So we all want a greater income, but can we steward what we have already properly? We all want greater opportunities. Are we stewarding our current opportunities properly? We want greater influence. Are we stewarding our responsibilities, our current responsibilities properly? Before increase comes stewardship. Before multiplication comes management. Before expansion comes responsibility. So it's not just if I had more money, I'll be able to do all these things. It's what habits are required for the money to stay and for the money to multiply. What habits do you need to now adopt? Because if you can't handle £1,000, how can God give you a big vision that's going to require £100,000? I was listening to Apostle Issy, and she was saying she was having to do a bank transfer. And she said when she was doing a bank transfer, she started to feel faint and have a headache. And she said the Holy Spirit said to her, there's nothing wrong with you. It was the fact that a lump sum of money was leaving her account, and she was feeling anxious about it. And so if you can't sow here, do things at this level, how is God? And I can imagine, for whether it was for her conference or whatever she's doing, it cost thousands upon thousands. We watch it and we appreciate it, we look at it, but when we look at those things, do we have the capacity to be able to do what they do? Do we have the capacity to be able to allow 50,000 to leave our bank account and be okay? Because she said to advance the kingdom, you have to be willing to sacrifice financially. You have to be willing to sacrifice financially. Are we willing? Because money does not solve stewardship problems. It exposes stewardship. Because if we see money as a resource, as God as the source, and money as the resource, if God says you only have £1,000 in your bank account, but I want you to go and sow that £1,000 to build, to go and do a conference or something, will you be willing to give your last penny because God said so? And so financial infrastructure. You know, money does not automatically create wealth, doesn't automatically create freedom. There are things God will give you something to manage. Can you manage it and multiply it? So how do you build financial infrastructure? Number one, for yourself. This is really for yourself. Know your numbers. It's for your business, your ministry. Know your numbers. Know what comes in, what's going out. What do you own? What do you owe? Stewardship begins with awareness. Number two, build margin in whatever you're doing. And as I said yesterday, don't think linear. Think about multiple streams. Think about what can you do that will bring multiple streams. Build margin, create multiple channels. That's number three. Don't be dependent on one single source. If you can develop additional sources. Develop additional sources. Speak to someone. Go and speak to someone and see where you can build additional sources. You see, if your brain has always been a linear thinking brain, you've always thought linear, you've always thought paycheck to paycheck, job to job. You have to now retrain your brain to see opportunities, to see multiple streams. And it's not easy. You just have to retrain your brain, because your brain has just been paycheck to paycheck. It has just been linear thinking. So really go and sit with someone that can help you expand your thinking and see beyond what you see. Number 4, learn financial stewardship. Invest time in learning about money, learning about saving, learning about investing, learning about cash flow, learning about how money works, how it flows. So it's begin to steward what you have now. Even if you only get £100 a week, just steward it now. Steward it now. What can be invested? What can be sown? What can be saved? Because what you can sustain is more important than what you can obtain. Because God will give you more, but can you steward what you have right now? Number 5, actually, I want to get through it, then I say that. Systems infrastructure. One of the biggest mistakes that I see in businesses right now is building everything around themselves. You are the administrator, the salesperson, customer service department, finance department, marketing department. You are everything. You are operations. You are the events facilitator. You are everything. But obviously you begin there, but it won't sustain you. It can't sustain you on a bigger level. So eventually you will become the bottleneck and it will create a limitation. So if everything depends on you, it cannot grow beyond you. If it just depends on you, it cannot grow beyond you. So if everything requires your involvement, growth will become difficulty. And I see it in businesses that I work with now. It's very difficult because everything is built around them. Approval is built around them. Presence is built around them. Attention is built around them. And that's how you will become the bottleneck. So, yeah. Without systems, God, I'm trying to think, what do I want to share? Because time is going. Without systems, let me just share what you need how to build systems. How to build systems. I'm just going to share how to build so you can start thinking about it. Number 1, identify repetitive tasks. What are you doing repeatedly? What happens every week? What happens every month? What keeps requiring your attention? Even if you are building something right now by yourself, begin to just take note. What did you do to get that result? Whether it's an event, whether it's your career, what did you do? Because maybe it's something that you can then go and teach somebody else. Because there's always somebody 5 steps behind you. So no matter where you are right now, begin to make notes. What do you do repeatedly? What happens every week? What do you do every month? What requires your attention? Write things down. Don't keep things in your head. Document. Create checklists if you need to. Create workflows if you need to. Create processes. Your memory is not a system. Number 3, simplify. Complexity is the enemy of execution. So some of the reasons why we don't execute is because we think it's too hard and too complex. Break it down. I break things down. So for example, if there's lots of tasks that I have to do, I will use a simple example of just cleaning my house. There are multiple rooms, multiple things that need. And I'm organizing stuff in my house because I have to organize some rooms. I will visualize what room I'm going to begin first. And then I will tackle that room. I don't think about all of it at once. If I think about all of it at once, I won't want to do it. I won't want to do it because it seems too much. And so if you think about your business or your career or whatever it is that needs to be done all at once, you will not want to do it. Break it down. Start little. Start with a small part. Break it down. For example, you want to write a book, start with a chapter. You want to learn something new, you want to start reading again, start with a chapter. Just break things down. Break things down, but create, and number 4 is create consistency. Create consistency. A good system creates consistent results. I was coaching someone and they said they want to read more. And I just said to them, you know, read a chapter and create consistency in how you read. Create consistency. The goal is not perfection. The goal is reliability. Create consistency. It will do so much for you. It will do so much for you. So systems create capacity for growth. What systems do you require? What systems do you require? I don't have time to go into personal systems and all the other systems. I can't go through that in Mindset Mornings. But if you keep following, that's something I'll be teaching at a later date. Not in Mindset Mornings, but in a private group. Number 6, resource infrastructure. Resource infrastructure. It's easy to say I don't have enough money, support, equipment, contacts, but resource infrastructure. You've got to recognize what has God got in your hand. What has God given you right now? The woman with the issue, not issue of blood, the widow woman with the oil. The problem was she didn't know the resource that she already had. She already had the resource, but she did not recognize it until somebody else said, what do you have in your hand? Right now, I know you don't have everything that you need. And I know that you will probably need more. But you have something. Recognize what you have right now. Use it. Don't lose it. Use what you have. You have some body of knowledge. You have some skills. You have some experience. You have relationships. You have ideas. You have gifts. You have some time. You have access to technology. You have something. Recognize what God, that's why gratitude is so important. It opens up your mind to begin to recognize what you have. If you always complain, it shuts down your mind. It shuts down you being able to see what God has given you. You must see resources differently. Other people will see limitations, begin to see possibilities. Where other people will see obstacles, begin to see this is an asset. So, I'm just trying to rush through this. How do you build resource infrastructure? Number 1, take inventory. Before you keep asking for more, identify what you already have. For example, what knowledge do I possess? What skills do I possess? I like to give people an audit. What relationships do I possess? What tools do I possess? You probably have everything that you need right now already around you, but you haven't been able to recognize. Because you're so busy looking at what you don't have, you can't see what you have. So resource infrastructure. What opportunities already exist around you? Oh, so I've got 2 minutes left. I think it's because there's less people on and maybe there's not enough emojis going, because I remember that's what we used to do. So I've got 2 minutes, guys. Number 2. So you'll get the rest of the teaching in an email today. But number 2, maximize. I don't know what's with Instagram. This hasn't happened for so long. It hasn't happened for so long, but it's back, this countdown timer. I don't know why. But yeah, we've got 1 minute left, got 60 seconds. Maximize existing resources. We can't keep asking for new resources while underutilizing the resources that we already have. Steward what you have right now. Use what you have right now. Develop what you have right now. Number 3, invest strategically. Not every resource is going to give you the same impact. Identify the resources that are going to give you the greatest leverage for what you are building. And number 4, develop a stewardship mindset. Steward your resources well. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what do I have? What do I have? Because you have something. I know the God that I serve. He has given you everything in abundance, but you have to recognize what he's given you. And the last one would have been people infrastructure. People infrastructure is we're not designed to know everything. We're not designed to see everything. We're not designed to carry everything alone. So I've got 5 seconds to say, have a blessed day. See you tomorrow. Tell somebody. We've got a guest speaker.